Hello everyone! Today we are going to review Unit 2, Weather and Climate. First, we learned the concept of weather. Remember, weather describes all the atmospheric conditions present in a specific place and time. Remember, there are three elements that work together to form weather. These elements are water, air, and heat. As well, we know that when we talk about weather, we have to say four different elements: temperature, humidity, wind, and precipitation. Okay, so help me. Do you remember what is temperature? Okay, so temperature is a measure of how cold or hot is the air. And do you remember what instrument do we use to measure the temperature? Yes, exactly, the thermometer. Also, we have learned different type of scales to measure the temperature. Here in Spain, we measure the temperature in Celsius or centigrade. So, water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius. In the United States, for example, they use the Fahrenheit scale, and for them, water freezes at 32 Fahrenheit degrees. Well, let's go with humidity. What is humidity? Exactly. Humidity is the water vapor that is present in the air. And remember, when we have a lot of water vapor, we have two words to describe it. It could be fog and mist. And do you remember the name to measure the humidity? Very good, the hygrometer. Let's go now to talk about the wind. What is wind? Very good. Wind is the air moving, and this movement can be at many different speeds. So, depending on the speed, we have learned three different types of names: breeze, gale, and hurricane. And do you remember the name for the instrument that we use to measure the wind? That's right, anemometer. And finally, we are going to talk about precipitation. What is precipitation? Remember, precipitation is water that falls to the ground from the atmosphere, and it can be liquid or solid. And what's the name for the instrument that measure the rainfall or the precipitation? Excellent, rain gauge. So, now we are going to see something related with precipitation. Actually, we are going to see types of precipitation. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, so we have different types of precipitation. We have two kinds of precipitations that they are liquid. Do you remember the names? Very good. Drizzle and rain. And the difference between drizzle and rain is the size of the droplets. Remember, we call rain when the droplets are bigger than 0.5 milliliters. If they are smaller, we call it drizzle. And do you remember two types of precipitation that they are solid precipitation? Excellent. We can have snow or hail. To have snow, we need the air cold and dry. And hail, it happens when we have thunderstorms because of the currents. As well, we have one type of precipitation that is it's a mixture of liquid and solid. Do you remember the name? Very good, sleet. Now we are going to talk about clouds. Clouds form when warm air rises and then cools down. We have different types of clouds. Remember, we have cumulus clouds. These are flat, fluffy clouds and are a sign of good weather. So that means good weather is coming. If we see in the sky stratus clouds, that these kind of clouds form in layers and are located low in the sky, they often bring drizzle and fog. And another type of clouds are the cirrus clouds. These clouds are thinner and are located higher up in the sky, very far. They usually mean that bad weather is coming. Now we are going to review climate. Climate describes the main weather characteristics of a place. To describe climate, we have to take into account four characteristics. First, the size and location of land masses. The presence of mountains and plains, because it's not the same to live in a mountain than to live in a plain. Also, we have to take into account the atmospheric wind systems and the ocean currents. Now we are going to see the different types of climate in the world. First, we need to take into account the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. The weather that is between these two tropics is called tropical. And here they have warm all year around, and also they have a rainy season. As well, in these countries we can find tropical rainforests. Well, the weather that is between the Tropic of Cancer and the North Pole and the Tropic of Capricorn and the South Pole is called temperate climates. In this type of climates, we have hot summers and cold winters. We have to add that the most densely populated parts of the world lie in this region. Well, now we are going to see the polar climates. Of course, these climates, we can find them on the North Pole and on the South Pole. In these climates, it's cold all year around, and winter brings darkness and temperatures as low as minus 50 degrees Celsius. Finally, we are going to review the climates in Spain. There are 5 types of climate. First, we have oceanic climates that are mild and rainy. Remember, mild means no very hot and no very cold. We find oceanic climates in Galicia, Cantabria, and the Western Pyrenees, basically in the north. Then we have mountain climates that they have very low temperatures in winter and mild temperatures in summer. Precipitation increases with altitude, and usually it falls in form of snow. This kind of climate, we can find it, a mountain, in areas at 1,200 meters or above. Then we have Mediterranean continental climates that experience very low temperatures in winter and very high in summer. It rains little and mostly in spring and autumns. We can find Mediterranean continental climate in the Meseta Central, the Delta del Ebro, and parts of Andalusia and Catalonia. Then we have Mediterranean climate. It's very hot in summer and mild winters. It does not rain much. We find this Mediterranean climate in the Mediterranean coast, Islas Baleares, and most of Andalusia. And finally, we have subtropical climates that have mild temperatures all year round. It does not rain very much, so it may rain more in mountainous areas. We can find this climate, the subtropical, in the Islas Canarias.